What is up, guys? We are back. It's your boy Effie with Any Action Sportscast, and as always, we're here to give you guys our full UFC breakdown for this week's card. This week we have UFC Vegas 54, Blachowicz vs. Rakic. Before we get into that, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Put those notifications on. You guys won't miss any of our videos, any of our breakdowns. So far this year, guys, we're up 25.22 units. Our lock lines are 10-2, and we're looking to keep it going, looking to keep making this money. But go ahead and recap our UFC 274 bets. We end up the night positive, albeit slight. 0.87 units profit on the night, giving us our fourth straight profitable card in a row. We're gonna make it 5 events this week. We're trying to make some money every single week, and with this streak we're going, I'm going to keep it going. You know, it really came down to our lock of the night hitting in the main event. Carlos Oliveira finishes Justin Gaethje in the first round. After getting dropped twice himself, he drops Justin Gaethje, gets the submission, takes his back. The fight ends like that. And guys, he has that X factor. He has that little I can just lay on my back and pull guard maneuver. He does it. Just unreal, unreal how the guy finishes fights. The run he's on right now is absolutely amazing to see. And I'm just happy that our lock of the night hit, guys. We had under 2.5 rounds, minus 145, 3 units win 2.06, and we hit that. But we also took a big loss this week on Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson over 1.5 rounds, minus 130. And honestly, guys, I don't feel that bad about that loss. In the first round, Tony Ferguson looked great. I thought he was going to look bad, but he actually looked really good. And I thought the fight was going to get extended, and sure enough, Michael Chandler lands one of the sickest front kick knockouts of all time. I just couldn't believe it. My jaw was just on the ground. My hands are on my head like, are you serious? One, because we lost the bet, but two, because I was like, oh my God, Tony Ferguson, you're right. And you hate to see that. And it really sucks because he did look good before that first round, but you know, we lose a big bet there. But we come back and did pretty well throughout the night. All the rest of our bets were all plus money shots. We lost on Ariana Carnelosi, and honestly, guys, that was probably the dumbest bet we've made all in our sports history here at NES Sportscast. She got dominated throughout the whole fight, every single round. She missed weight. I mean, you could chalk it up as a straight loss. Half a unit shot on that missed. Then, guys, we took a unit shot on Tracy Cortez via decision. She was the favorite, hovering around minus 170 throughout the week, minus 160. A little bit of money came in on her opponent, got her late, so that line closed a little lower. But we ended up getting her at plus 135 via decision, and I was happy to get that plus money because, you know, she won via decision. She avoided the submission, and that was really the only risk throughout the whole fight. She just had to avoid putting herself in position to get submitted, and I'm glad she did because we hit that for plus 1.35 units. We also hit Randy Brown against Chaos Williams for plus 110, half a unit to win 0.55 units. I'm happy with that bet too. I wish I would have been more, but you know, we gotta respect Chaos Williams' power threat, and he really did look good, the young Chaos Williams. But Randy Brown, man, just had that confidence, had that length, had that reach. Really came on late throughout that fight. So overall, we finished UFC 274.87 units, and we're up 25.22 units on the year. Looking to keep it going. I'm happy with those numbers, and I just hope you guys are telling your friends, tell them like this video, subscribe, because I'm telling you guys we're feeling pretty good about these reads, and we're looking to keep it going. Thanks so much for tuning in, and let's get right into this UFC Vegas 54. And for the main event at UFC Vegas 54, we have Jan Blachowicz versus Aleksandar Rakic. The line currently sits Blachowicz, the underdog, at plus 160, Rakic, the favorite, at minus 190. That's actually interesting because the line has been moving. Rakic opened at minus 160, has been getting steamed, and I get it, man. If you look at the fight itself, how are you gonna bet this fight? First of all, the big thing that sticks out is that Jan is 9 years older than Aleksandar. He's 39. Alexander's 30. That's a huge age gap, especially in this weight division. Now, I know light heavyweight and heavyweight, you can find it. You can sort of, you know, continue to win fights at high levels the older you get compared to other divisions. But here, I don't know, man. It kind of feels like one guy is for the back nine of his career versus one guy's coming on strong. Although we haven't seen Rakic in a year or over a year, he hasn't fought since fighting Santos, where he won the fight. But guys, he got outstruck. If you look at the statistics, he got outlanded by Thiago Santos. That's insane. Thiago Santos doesn't throw any strikes. He's super low volume. To get outstruck by him is insane. But yeah, that kind of goes to how I feel like this fight's gonna play into. I feel like this fight's gonna be super boring. I feel like Aleksandar Rakic is gonna win a decision. I lean Rakic, but it's because I feel like he will be able to win minutes on the ground, but I don't think he's just going to go out there and Khabib him, take him down every single round, and just win minutes on the mat there. I think it's going to be harder than you think. Jan did get taken down and mauled by Glover Teixeira, but I don't see Teixeira and Rakic's BJJ on the same level. I think Rakic will, be the better, faster striker, but, that Polish power is for real. We all know the story about Jan Blachowicz fighting that guy that was hanging from a tree. while walking his dogs. He took a little bit piece of that rope and then had this crazy knockout power. But I mean, even his resume though, guys, look at his last five fights. He had the Glover loss. You had the Israel Adesanya win. You had the Dominic Reyes win. You had the Corey Anderson win. Then Souza before that. Look at Rakic. He had he's coming off beating Thiago Santos. Before that, Anthony Smith lost to Ozdemir, and Jimmy Manua and Devin Clark he beat as well. But the Ozdemir split decision was pretty close. He could have got it in my opinion, but I don't know if he decision. But dude, in the Smith and Santos fight, he just didn't look like the goods at all. I don't know how he's getting the main event. This is insane. Similar to Anthony Smith, I don't know how he gets main events either. But guys, I think that Rakic will win the fight. I just can't trust a 39-year-old light heavyweight. And I will say, I don't think it's similar to where when Wonderboy lost to Gilbert Burns, it was almost like a blueprint was out there, and then Bilal did the same thing, but a little worse to Wonderboy. I don't think that's going to play out here. I don't think Rakic sees what Glover did to Jan, and he's like thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna do that right away." I think that he's gonna be able to be around it and to show that he's better at striking and on the ground if it gets there. And up close in range, I think that Jan, is live for a knockout. But I don't know, man. You're pretty much just solely betting on knockout at that point. You might as well just bet Jan via knockout because uh, if he goes through the cards, I feel like that means Rakic won the fight. My pick is Rakic. I'm gonna take him via decision. And in the co-main event, we have Ryan Spann versus Ion Cutelaba. The line currently sits Ryan Spann plus 185, Ion Cutelaba the favorite at minus 210. I gotta say, that line's a little wide in my opinion. I thought the line would be more toward minus 180, minus 175, Ion Cutelaba, and I'll explain. Ryan Spann will have a huge height and reach advantage here. You have a 6-inch reach advantage and a 4-inch height advantage. Now, he's huge for this weight class. He's a huge, huge fighter in this division. Ion Cutelaba will be the smaller fighter here, but guys, both these guys go for finishes. I think the fight and finishes inside the distance bet prop is minus 400. That's insane. That's telling you the books think that someone's gonna get finished, whether it be Spann or Cutelaba. So let's look at it, man. If you're gonna bet this fight, bet Ryan Spann inside the distance or Cutelaba inside the distance. Now the thing is, like, how are they gonna do it? I think Cutelaba is gonna get a knockout because Ryan Spann is very hittable, but also he's very suspect in the defense takedown defense area. He has, I believe, a 38% takedown defense. He's only defended 5 out of 13 attempted takedowns in the UFC against him. Where I think that Cutelaba can have success on the feet early, and if not, get this guy down late in the second or third round and finish him. I do lean Ion Cutelaba. Ryan Spann's good, man, but I just wasn't impressed with him against Smith. He did look good against Serkinov. They didn't have the highest fight IQ in the Walker fight, but I don't know, man. I think Ion Cutelaba, safe bet here. That price is a little scary to me, so I don't know if I'm gonna be laying that price, but I will pick Ion Cutelaba to get it done inside the distance. The next fight we're going to talk about is Luis Smolka versus Davey Grant. Line currently sits Davey Grant minus 280 and Smolka plus 225. It's a pretty wide line, but I get it, man. I think Davey Grant's a safe parlay piece this week. He's going to be on multiple parlays for me, and I might even lay him straight, but I hate betting that big of a favorite. But I do really think he's going to finish Luis Smolka. Let's get into it. So first of all, they're both 5'9", but Davey Grant is 36 years old. That's a little old in my opinion for this weight class to be betting on, but I do think he's a better fighter than Luis Smolka. Luis Smolka's been in the UFC forever. He's a UFC vet, but has more experience than Davey Grant, even though he's younger and the younger fighter. It's kind of weird. You never see that often. But if you look at his last 5 fights, man, he's been finished 3 times in the last 5. Matt Schnell finished him, Casey Kennedy finished him, and Vince Morales finished him. Plus, he's the natural 125er. He's going to be fighting at 135. Whereas I know Davey Grant is on a 2-fight losing streak, but look who it's against. I mean, he lost to Chito Vera and lost a split decision to Adrian Yanez. I rate Adrian Yanez really high. That he really impressed me in that loss. It's one of those performances where, yeah, he didn't come in with the win, but you remember that you're like, okay, he's got that dog in him. He could fight for sure. But guys, I think Davey Grant could win this fight wherever it goes, whether it be on the ground if he needs to get Luis down, or if they keep it standing. I think that his gas tank will hold up. Both these guys will in theory. This actually has potential, in my opinion, to be fight of the night. As I see Luis Smolka using his veteran savvy to, make up for what might be a disparity in talent here, because I do think Davey Grant is the better fighter. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Davey Grant. Go ahead and go with second round finish. And up next, guys, we have a fight that I think I have a very good read on. I'm talking about Katlyn Chookagian versus Amanda Ribas. And the line currently sits Chookagian minus 170 and Ribas on the comeback at the underdog plus 150. Now for this fight, guys, my pick will be Katlyn via decision. This lady is a decision machine. She's a great fighter, and that leads me to believe that the fight's going to go over 2.5 rounds. Katlyn over 2.5 rounds, and Katlyn via decision. Let's get into it. Amanda Ribas will be going up in a weight class. She's a natural 125er. She's fighting at 135. She's fighting against a girl where I think she's going to need this fight to be on the ground. She stands and trades with Katlyn for 3 rounds. I think she's going to lose this fight. Now I know she got knocked out by Marina Rodriguez, but Marina Rodriguez to me has way more power than Katlyn. But Katlyn has way more experience than Amanda as well. She has 21 pro fights versus Ribas is 13. She's going up a weight class. She has a height and reach advantage, or disadvantage, I should say, where Katlyn will be 6 inches taller and have a 2-inch reach advantage over Amanda Ribas. Now, like I said, I believe that for Amanda to win this fight, she's going to need to get this fight in the clinch and on the ground. And I don't think that she's going to be able to do it. I don't think that if Jennifer Maia couldn't, have success with that game plan against Katlyn, I don't think Amanda Ribas, the undersized fighter, will either. You look at her last 5 fights, yeah, she did beat Jandiroba in the last fight. Before that, she lost to Rodriguez, and before that, she beat Paige Van Zandt, who don't even get me started on how good of a fighter I think Paige Van Zandt is. But then you look at Katlyn Chookagian, she's a decision machine. I don't think she's finished anyone in the UFC record. She, beat Maia, beat Araujo, beat Cavillo, lost to Andrade, but I don't know, man. I think you have to be a really good tier, a high tier of fighter to beat Katlyn, and I just don't see her losing here. I feel great about that line. We're gonna get plus 130 on her via decision, and I have Katlyn straight up, Katlyn via decision. Like I said, that leads me to believe Katlyn via an over. I don't think either girl's gonna get finished. Go ahead and bet fight goes the distance. Like I said, guys, I feel real strong about this pick. I just don't see how Amanda gets her down and controls her for 2.5 rounds, 2 rounds. The pick will be, like I said, Katlyn. So get this money. To the next fight, guys, we have Frank Camacho versus Manuel Torres. And I honestly do wish my boy Bruce Marlon shit on the 1s and 2s because he's an underdog whisperer. And I gotta say, I kind of like the underdog here, Frank Camacho. I'll explain. There's a huge experience gap here. Frank Camacho's been a professional fighter for 16 years. Manuel Torres has been a professional fighter for 7 years. He's making his UFC debut after winning a Contender Series fight where it was a little controversial. He eye poked the dude, and then Halley ended up going in for the sub and getting the finish. I couldn't really find much tape on this guy, whereas Camacho has been fighting forever. I know his recent run is not very good. He hasn't fought in 2 years. And when we look at his resume, he hasn't lost since getting finished by Justin James. Got finished by Benil Dariush, beat Nick Hine, got finished by Jeff Neal, got finished by Drew Dober. And on the other hand, Manuel Torres is coming out of Mexico. He has 6 submission wins in his pro career, but I mean he's 12-2 with 6 sub wins. Frank Camacho is 22-9 with 9 losses coming via knockout. The thing with Frank Camacho is though he comes to fight. He comes to bring the fight in the very beginning of the fight, and he's swinging bangs. He's like a Derek Lewis type fighter where he's ready to go. He's trying to swing for the fences, but it's not the power or anything like that. I'm not comparing him power wise, but I'm just saying he's in brawls a lot. He's in very reckless fights. So I'm interested to see how this plays out with this young kid making his debut. He's a favorite. Camacho is the underdog at plus 115. Manuel Torres, I believe, was minus 120 area. And man, that might be worth a shot. I do think Camacho will have the grappling advantage here. As Torres hasn't shown that he doesn't really care playing off his back. He's, like I said, he has 6 submissions. Quote unquote comfortable there. But I don't know. I can't find myself to bet on Frank Camacho. Man, I don't know. Like I said, I wish my producer Martin was here. He's an underdog whisperer. He knows how to bet underdogs. So we'll go ahead and pass on this fight, but my pick will be Frank Camacho. And then in this next fight, guys, I think it's going to be dogger pass for your boy. I'm talking about Jake Hadley versus Allan Naascimento. Line currently sits Hadley at minus 210, Nascimento at plus 175. Now, I do think the underdog is live here, and I think it's because the way the fight's going to play out is going to be in his realm. I'll explain. So, the way Allan fights, he likes to pull guard. He likes to do what Charles Oliveira does, where he just lays on the back, which is funny because he's from the same gym, Shooter Box. And he doesn't defend takedowns at all. He's, 6 attempts have been on him, takedown attempts, and 5 have landed. He's okay with being off his back and pulling guard. Hadley won off Contender Series, finished Mitch Raposo, where we also have Mitch Raposo. I think it was on that show. What is it? Ultimate Fighter. And I thought it was good. I thought he could have a good UFC career. So I was impressed by him getting that finish. Before that, he was in Cage Warriors. He was finishing a lot of people, even though before he came to the UFC, he came off a decision. But if you look at his record, TKO, submission, decision, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Vegas seems to be thinking this guy's the truth. The tail of the tape, he's 5'7". Naascimento's 5'9". Hadley's 5 years younger at 25 years old. Allan's 30. And like I said, man, if Jake Hadley is gonna get this guy on the ground and control him, he's got to be smart and not get submitted for 3 rounds. I think that on the feet, Hadley probably does have the striking advantage, um, but not by a lot in my opinion. I don't see Allan as being chinny. He's never been finished in his 6 professional losses. That's another thing. He has a ton of professional experience over Hadley. He's 18-6, and 15 of those have been finishes. He has 15 finish wins in his professional career. That's pretty impressive, man. Um, so I do think that wherever this fight goes, I trust Allan to have enough success to maybe win this fight. I don't know if I'm gonna pull the trigger, but so far it's gonna be dog or pass for me. I do like the over, but like I said, he has 15 finishes. Allan does, so I'm worried he might finish this fight early, or at any point in the fight. I do lean the over 1.5 rounds, maybe 2.5 depending on the price. But I do think the dog is live. Go ahead and pick Nascimento via decision. And up next, guys, we have our first pick'em of the night. Talking about Viviane Araujo versus Andrea Lee. Line currently sits minus 115 both ways, and I understand why, man. This is almost a dead even, right down the middle fight. But I do have a pick here, and I think I might have a bet here in a second. Talking about Viviane Araujo, I think she's gonna win the fight, and I'll tell you why. Now, when it comes to experience or tail of the tape, they're almost dead even. Um, Andrea Lee will be 2 inches taller, will have a 1 inch reach advantage. She has 8 UFC fights. Araujo has 6 UFC fights. Pro career, she has 5 more pro career fights than Araujo. So she has a little bit of experience advantage here. But guys, the way this fight's gonna play out, I do think that Araujo is gonna be able to win the fight standing up while it's on the feet, and I do think that she does need to get the fight to the ground. She can get it there. Whereas I think if Andrea Lee is losing the fight standing up and she wants to get Araujo down, I think she's gonna have trouble because in her UFC career, Araujo's only given up 1 takedown out of 19 attempts. That's a 94% takedown defense. And to me, where a fight's so down the middle and you're probably going to have to use your grappling at some point, to be able to get the fight to where you want is important. So if Lee can't get Araujo down when she wants or where she needs, then I think she's going to be in trouble. I do think that the safe play here, though, is the over. It's probably going to be 2.5. I haven't seen the line. But I do think this could probably going to be in the minus 200s. That might be a parlay piece here because I don't see either girl getting finished. They're both decision machines. And yeah, man, I do think that Araujo's defensive grappling will be able to win her the fight, and it's even enough on the feet where I do think there's value on her at pick'em. And if she starts to keep up as a favorite, then we'll see. But I do think Araujo via decision is the bet. Up next, we have Jandiroba versus Angela Hill. Line currently sits Jandiroba at minus 160 and Angela Hill at plus 135. And I gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised at that, and I won't be surprised if I find myself on Angela Hill here. She's a decision machine. Uh, if it weren't for some split decision losses, she'd have a way better record than she does. And granted, she's 13-11, where you don't think that's a very good record, but she's in every fight pretty much. But look at her last 5 fights. She's coming off losing to Amanda Lemos, where that was way closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought Amanda was going to steamroll Angela Hill, and she impressed me in that fight. And he had Tisha Torres lost the decision. Before that, beat one against Ashley Yoder. Before that, lost to Michelle Watterson, and before that, lost to Claudia Gadelia. She's 1-4 in the last 5 fights, whereas Virna Jandiroba is 3-2 in the last 5 fights. She's coming off losing to Amanda Ribas. Before that, beat Camacho. Before that, lost to Dern. Subbed Herring and beat Mallory Martin. Subbed her too. Everyone knows Jandiroba's game. She's unreal on the ground. Her BJJ is legit. If she gets Angela Hill down, will she be able to submit her? I don't know. I do think that this fight's going to extend and go over 1.5 rounds, maybe 2.5 rounds. I just don't have a strong read either way because I do think that Angela Hill can win this fight, whereas Jandiroba might have. I mean, obviously she has a grappling advantage where I don't know how easily she'll be able to get that fight to the ground. Angela Hill is pretty good at her takedown defense or grappling defense, but I wouldn't be surprised either if Jandiroba just snatches that neck up or snatches up a choke somewhere throughout the scramble, because if you make one mistake against these girls with high level BJJ, it's over pretty quick. So I gotta lean Jandiroba. We'll go ahead and lean her via sub, and I might actually bet that. Let's sprinkle on a prop because I do think that's a likely path to victory. We'll go ahead and take Jandiroba via submission. And up next, we have a fight between 2 up-and-comers. We have Carlos Candelario versus Tatsuro Taira. Line currently sits Taira minus 225 and Candelario at plus 185. Now, we all remember him because he was a guy that actually got a UFC contract off a loss during Contender Series. And I do agree with Dana White when Dana White came up to him and said, "Hey man, the judges got that wrong. You won the fight," and he did get robbed. But yeah, he was alright. He was a pretty good fighter. Close fight. Whereas Tatsuro, Taira, I can't really find much footage on the guy. He's supposed to be this up and coming prospect, where that's all I gotta hear. When the UFC gets the guys from overseas and they're matching him up here with a guy coming off a loss, not an easy fight. There's no UFC fights that are easy. I just think that they know what they're doing here. A lot of, like I said, I couldn't find much tape on him, but a lot of people that I respect, like shout out to Cody at Blood Money MMA, are really high on this guy. So when I really value someone's opinion like that, I just gotta go with them and trust what they know. But I do lean Taira here. Not much footage on the guy, and I've seen Colorado fight, pretty good fighter, but I do think the prospect wins in his debut here. I'm gonna go ahead and get him via decision. And up next, we have a classic situation of a fight where the line is just way off, in my opinion. We have a fighter that I think is gonna win, and he is a rightful favorite. But I don't know, man. There's just no way I could touch this fight unless I'm betting on the underdog. I'm talking about Nick Maximov versus Andrea Petroski. The line currently sits Maximov minus 350, Petroski plus 270. Now, the Nate Diaz protege, Nick Maximov, everyone knows what he did or what he can do. The guy is a beast on the ground. His jiu-jitsu is really good. His striking's okay. He just come off a big win against Bruno Soriano, whereas Andrea Petroski was on the Ultimate Fighter, and likewise, he's also a grappler, collegiate wrestler, and wrestling his face. These guys are almost like spitting images of each other. They both do the same things well. What they're good at, both of them are good at. They're both good at controlling guys on the ground, getting them tired, and working positions, maneuvering them to vulnerable submission, attempts. And they're just dogs. They have gas. And so I'm interested to see how it's going to go. Who's going to get who down? Is Maximov going to be able to win minutes on the ground? Is Petroski going to get gas out? Because I don't think so. I think he looked good in the last fight. He has the win over one of the worst people in the UFC ever, Michael Gilmore, which is not on his fault. But Maximov has two good wins. Cody Brundage and Bruno Soriano are really good wins, in my opinion. So the level of competition, I'd say Maximov has definitely faced the higher competition, and he's probably, quote-unquote, the better prospect here. But the line is absolutely untouchable. Minus 350, no way. Especially when you're fighting a guy that, plays the same kind of fight as you. You're going to be grappling a lot in this fight, in the clinch. So it's going to come down to who's stronger. And I think Petroski might have the advantage there. Maximov is huge for the division. So I might come back to regret saying that. But I don't know, man. To have that much faith on a minus 350, that's not even parlayable. You're not really adding any value to your parlay. If anything, I think I'm going to bet Petroski. I do lean the over, and I might go with Maximov via decision if I end up thinking Maximov can pull this off. I don't know, man, he might win, but the betting value is all on Petroski. I think Maximov, I'm going to go with Maximov via decision, so go over 2.5 rounds. I'm interested to see what that line's going to be. I haven't seen it yet, but go ahead, Nick Maximov. The line's way juiced via decision. With that, guys, it's time to give you guys our official bets for UFC Vegas 54 here at Any Action Sportscast. We're up over 25 units this year. We're looking to keep it going, looking to make this profit. And we actually have one single fight 3 different ways. We're real big on Katlyn Chookagian this week. We'll go ahead and get into it. We have Katlyn Chookagian minus 170, 2 units to win 1.17. Katlyn Chookagian via decision plus 130, 1 unit to win 1.3. We also have Viviane Araujo. A lot of women MMA bets this week. Viviane Araujo plus 100, 0.5 units to win 0.5 units. We also have the main event over, Rakic versus Blachowicz, over 3.5 rounds, minus 120, 1.2 units to win 1. And to top it off, we have a parlay, a 2-leg parlay for plus 115 odds. We have Katlyn Chookagian the first leg and Davey Grant the second leg. 1 unit to win 1.15 units. And I feel good about that bet. I feel good about all these reads. And with that, guys, that'll wrap up our Any Actions UFC Vegas 54 full card breakdown. Thanks so much for tuning in, and make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment, let us know what you think about our bets. Are you on the same bets, or are you fading us? We're on a run here, guys. We're up 25 units. We're looking to make it our 5th straight profitable week. And, looking to keep just pushing these units, moving these units, stacking that money. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Can't wait to see you guys next week. I hope you're in the green. Like I said, 5 in a row. Here we go. Any Action Sportscast back next week. Peace. Could it be? Yeah. Could it be? I know which way to go if you want to smoke.